online conference, analyzing and optimizing revenue streams for mobile games. I'm Ealing, and I will be moderating our session today. Thank you so much for joining us. As global economic evolves, game companies are focused on balancing making money with innovation. Finding the right balance between cutting costs and growing revenue is key to staying competitive. Today, we are fortunate to have a panel of industry experts who will help us explore those challenges and opportunities. But before we dive into the discussion, let's meet our speakers. Uh, Yana, could you kick things for us fast?
Yeah, sure. So thanks a lot for having me today. I'm super excited. My name is Yana. I'm CBDO at Optica. And just a brief intro about our tool, if you're not familiar for some reason with our platform yet. So we are the ad intelligence and app market analytics tool. So we are the data provider. And we collect the data from 12 million apps and 4 million publishers from App Store and Google Play in 37 countries and in 33 large ad networks such as Mintegral, AppLovin, TikTok, and so on. I probably would share some numbers and statistics during our conversation because, yeah, we do love the analytics. And just in case, if you will need more insights or you would love to learn more about our platform after the panel, I would be happy to connect on LinkedIn and just share even more insights.
Okay, thank you. And next, we are going to hear from Valentina, Pranab, as well as Teemu regarding for their introductions. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Elaine, for the introduction. And as well, I'm super happy to be here. Despite that, it's very early morning in Canada, where I'm based. I am leading the business development team of GameLight. So what we do, we are providing UA services for mobile gaming publishers. We are rewarded marketing platform. So basically, we do have our apps where present games to our own audience, and that's how we are doing user acquisition for them. That's very shortly about our services. And the company has been present 2 years on the market, and we've been working really hard to become a top upslayer index for the performance. So if you want to speak UA, you want to explore rewarded marketing platforms, you can connect with me. I will be using Yana's strategy for this. And yeah, I'm giving a ball to Teemu.
All right. Thank you, and happy to be here as well. I am Teemu. Nice to meet everyone. I'm a co-founder and chief product officer at MetaPlay, and we are the leading backend technology company for making games that reach hundreds of millions of players and operate on a live service model. And my background is in game development itself, so I used to be a co-founder and designer, producer at a company called PlayRaven that was acquired by Rovio about 2017, if I remember correctly at this point. So very much into how do we actually build games on a large scale, build and operate. Feel free to connect to me as well if you have any questions about any of these after the fact. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Good to meet you all, and thanks for having me here in such an amazing panel. My name is Pranab Punj. I'm the strategic advisor for Asia Pacific for Xsolla. About Xsolla, I'm guessing most of you know, but I'll still give an introduction. Xsolla is a global video games commerce company that offers end-to-end solutions and services for game developers to monetize and distribute their games. What Xsolla basically does is help you sell directly to more users, increase payment reach and conversions, better manage your user behavior, and absolutely generate more revenue with higher margins. We are a 19-year-old company headquartered out of the US with 15 global offices and almost 900 plus employees. That's about us, but we'll talk about Xsolla as we go. And thanks for having me here again.
Okay, thank you all for those kind of introductions. And now let's jump into our discussion. I have several key questions for the panel, and I encourage our audience to send in all the questions via the chat. We will try to answer as many as we can during the Q&A at the end. Let's start with our first question. With the current global economic downturn, many game companies are focused on boosting profits. Given the latest industry trends, what business models or service do you think are best for helping developers cut the cost? Uh, Yana, let's start with you. What approach have you seen work well in this area?
First of all, I would say that we wouldn't be so negative about this downturn because since we're working with statistics, we still see this upward in revenue for the gaming market. So, accumulating more than $24 billion, it's a 2.8% increase compared to second part of the 2023. So this year we still expect this upward in the revenue and expecting to generate more than $60 billion in in-app purchases. So yeah, first of all, wouldn't say that it's not that negative. And however, definitely it was challenging for the gaming market, but that's why probably we see more and more hybrid casual titles. And for some hyper casual games, we still see this trend to introduce hybrid monetization model, so in-app advertising plus in-app purchases with the ongoing transition to hybrid. And again, I have some examples and numbers in that. So in the first half of this year, the hybrid casual outperformed in revenue, hyper casual titles on both platforms by almost 5 times on iOS. It's 130 million with $600 million, and by 6.5 times on Android. So it's 67 million with $437 million. So we expect with the hybrid titles to be more bold and complex in terms of experiments with the revenue sources.
Thank you. And Valentina, I also like to hear your thoughts. What kind of strategies you think the developers should be focused on?
There are so many. It's a very long topic to discuss, but the thing is that we see from our side is that it's like gamers right now, they are way more educated, and it's very difficult to navigate with your UA strategy, for example, within their stores that they currently have. And the thing is that we are, maybe it sounds very buzz, but I'm always thinking about the AI side because we all like to be treated special, and gamers as well. So what is good is to bring the very personalized experience to each gamer in order to engage longer with the game, make him drag there and stay as long as possible. And the personalization, what we see from our campaigns, for example, it's super important that you are choosing the right ad for the right user. You are choosing the right engagement strategy for each user. That's actually powered with us with AI. That's, I think, maybe it's a very buzzword, but at the same time, we see the great results in reducing the cost when you are targeting the individual user, going down to the gamer level.
Okay, thank you. And Pranab, what is your take on the cost reduction strategies? And are there any specific business models that stand out?
Uh, no, thanks, Ealing. And I've been hearing both the panelists here. I think that I, I would agree with Yana that things are not gloomy at all. Rather, there is a lot of opportunities. And let me start by saying, I think in the current economic climate, we as Exolas see direct-to-consumer models as a very, very powerful tool. And in our kind of suite of services, we have Exola's web shop solution that has proven very highly effective in reducing operational costs for companies. For your understanding, the solution allows developers to bypass the traditional app store fees, which is often up to about 30%. And instead, they can manage their own payments and monetization directly through their branded web stores, which is a direct kind of revenue positive that they get. Using the solution, developers can also customize the user experience. They can leverage the 700 plus payment methods that we offer. That basically allows for them to have broader reach and higher margins. And so we believe in the strategy called the cross-platform strategy of cross-play, Exola cross-play, and cross-pay. And we believe using that strategy and developers can basically reuse mobile, web, and PC content, and basically further reducing development costs. So I think if I look at it, and I've been in this industry for the last 25 years, starting very early, I think today is a much better time than much earlier, right? So with companies like Exola and other companies who are on the panel, right, offering the kind of solutions, there's a life beyond stores, which is a big thing, right? Because the developers up till now were restricted within that store environment. So I think D2C is the way to go.
Yeah, really, really amazing. I know that the web shop is quite popular among the game publishers as well as developers here in China. And Teemu, from your perspective, how are the game developers adapting to the pressure to cut the cost?
Yeah, I'll take a different angle to everybody else just to round out the topic. Although I agree with the general sentiment so far. So most of the cost of making a game or running a game studio is human labor, right? So if we ignore the user acquisition costs, which are scalable, what remains is that 95% of your costs as a studio will be on your staff. So then the question is, how do you avoid hiring more people, or how do you make your staff more effective while developing games? And I think the leading strategies that actually work generally mean, historically as well, but nowadays even doubly so, is first of all, not do everything yourself, but find the right vendors or partners or outsourcing partners or whichever, like us today, of course, here in the panel, whether it's UA analytics or don't build your own payment gateway, maybe, and like talk to Exola and whoever else. So that will dramatically help cut the just day-to-day headcount of the company, which is like the leading driver of the costs. And then I think the second interesting, which more technical point, is that of the people that you never want to let go, your core developers, then how do you make sure that they actually make something that has impact to your game, to your business, to your players, instead of spending time on reacting to things that just happen to you every single day? That usually means having a really big focus in both automation and good quality assurance, so bug testing and so on. Because if your team is constantly fighting fires, then they're not maybe making the game better or adding value to the players and so on. So the right partners and a really good investment into automation, I think, is what the leading studios are doing, that as far as I'm seeing.
I think because
Great
Teemu is
insights.
great, he
Yeah.
pays a lot of
Go ahead.
attention to the team and to the values of the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. There are great insights from everyone. It's quite clear that while cutting the cost is necessary, and the right strategies can make huge difference in long-term success. Let's now shift the focus to the revenue growth. While cutting cost is important, and companies also need to explore the ways to bring in more revenue. And this brings us to our next questions. What innovative strategies or approach have you come across that have been particularly successfully in boosting the revenue? And Teemu, could you share any standout examples or trends you've seen in expanding the revenue sources?
Yeah, absolutely. So for context, we have a very close relationship with a lot of our customers who ship very mass market games to understand what for them actually makes an impact for boosting revenue. And I think absolutely every single developer that we talk to, they want to somehow make a stronger live ops setup in their game. So first of all, I'm gonna boost, analytics and actually knowing where your revenue comes from. You can't improve something if you don't track it, and a shocking number of developers still do not know where money comes from in their game, so they fundamentally don't know how to make it better. So first of all, good analytics and the smart people to analyze it. And second of all, games are a live service nowadays. Most of them, even if they're premium games, they fundamentally operate as a live service entertainment model with updates and so on. So then it all comes down to how quickly and efficiently and how well can you push new content to your game, usually over the air. So the best to not spend an hour talking about this, the best strategy that I've seen, and the number one tip that I can give, is to think of the game as a TV show or maybe a TV channel that has a lot of programming happening, and then to really think about what's happening in the game at any given time around the globe that's going to make it a fun experience for somebody who's just tuning in. Or why would somebody tune in next Friday at 5 o'clock? Because something fun is happening in the game, or there's a discount or whatever. That kind of a mentality, I think, takes you to the right place. And it absolutely involves good analytics, good tools, because doing this is hard. And again, maybe good partners to make it happen, because it's hard.
Okay, thank you. And Yana, how are the companies you worked with coming up with the creative ways to boost their revenue?
Probably the first thing that comes to my mind is the user segmentation, since it wise for the revenue boost. And I probably would just add the point to Teemu's speech regarding the live ops, because that's what we see nowadays. That's like the titles with integrated live ops strategy, and they know how to work with their users because they know the preferences. So that's probably the key. It's super crucial to know your users' preferences. If it's the old loyal like users, they probably more tend to get like the unique experience, to get more expensive offers rather than newbies. So my advice is probably to work with the partners, probably such Balancy. That's a great team, and that's what they're actually doing. So you can work with such services because they know how to work with the segmentations of your users. So they have this segmentation of all players, and that's probably would definitely will help. And since we in our tool we also analyze the gaming revenue, and we see the titles with the live ops integrated that they gain 2-3 times more revenue. Especially we see those fluctuations when the event was launched. So we can see the difference if it was the seasonal or just the one time. So we definitely see this. And I just get some examples. For instance, the Playrix, when they launched the Wild West expedition for Homescapes. So at the beginning of September, and we saw a 16% jump in revenue in a few days on the iOS and 18% jump on Android. So that's just the example what we actually see when we get our analytics. So yeah, my point would be definitely just the point to Temos regarding the live ops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's and Valentina, I'd like to hear any new ideas you come across that really help increase the revenue.
Okay. First of all, I agree with both guys, with Yanni and Temu, because live ops are super important, and as well as something that, adding to my point, it's a very personalized experience as well for the segments. For me, obviously, I'm speaking more from the user acquisition side. So basically, you can't boost the revenue completely if you are not acquiring new users, right? You always want to be growing your user base. So, but plus you want to have very good users who are going to stick in the game for a really long time. That at the same time, it doesn't kill your budget, your user acquisition strategy, and you can see the return on investment as soon as possible. So that's why we are talking about smart UA. And smart UA, it means that you are treating the user in the individual level. And what we do in GameLight, for example, we are the rewarded marketing platform. Obviously, for us, the loyalty is very important. Why? There is a connection there. So as long as user is playing, we will be giving rewards for the actions, for the time that they are spending within the game, in order to promote the loyalty of the user and stick for longer, to spend more as well. That works. What we see that the rewarding marketing platforms, they work really great at the low and at the high scale, and it's absolutely performance driven. So that's my take on it.
Okay, and Pranab, how do you think? I mean, what are the most creative or successful ways to grow the revenue you ever see recently?
Yeah, thanks, Ealing. And I've been hearing everybody. I agree with Teemu and Yana on live ops and everything. I think, see, for Exola, we are a video games commerce company. We are a D2C company. Our whole existence is focused on the fact that we want to create equal access for every developer, for them to be able to reduce their costs and to be able to increase their revenue and be able to reach their gamer where they are. And that's where I spoke about the cross play and cross pay strategy that we use, which is all about deploying solutions that reduce operational costs. So we have the Exola backend solution, which kind of offers everything which is required for backend development at a very reduced cost. And then there is, but so I think the broader thing that I want to speak about is the fact that the most effective strategy in diversifying revenue, according to us, is implementing a multi-platform approach, which is, when we talk about from our perspective, is, supported by solutions that we have under Exola Crossplay or Crosspay, where developers basically can attract and retain a more broader audience by enabling seamless gameplay across mobile, desktop, cloud platforms. And that's what the user wants today. They want to kind of shift and continue their gameplay where they are, rather than them having to follow the platform. Similarly, they want to cross pay, right? They want to pay where they can, and they want to pay, not against being forced into a platform. And that's what we encourage. The Exola web shop solution that I spoke about today, about top 50 out of the top 100 mobile gaming companies run web shops through us. And that powerful solution itself introduces features like personalized offers, loyalty programs, special promotions that can drive user engagement and increase average purchase value. According to me, I think these all combined solutions ensure revenue generation outside traditional app store ecosystem, and I think that's the way to go. We are not saying you should stop focusing on traditional app store ecosystem. We are saying expand beyond that and find newer revenues through direct to consumer, and that's what we encourage web partners that we work with to do.
Okay, thank you all for those great examples. It's exciting to hear how different strategies are being used to boost the revenue in innovative ways. And now, while boosting revenue is crucial, we also have to consider the balance between the monetization as well as the user experience, especially in the context of the in-app advertising. That means the IA. For the game that use the IA model, what are the best practice for maximizing ad revenue while maintaining a positive user experience? Timu, could you start by sharing your thoughts on balancing revenue and keeping users happy?
Sure, absolutely. Obviously, this, like, what is the shape of your game experience and how much monetization do you want to actively push into that session is highly genre dependent, because of course in a hyper casual context, for example, it's okay to be very pushy with the monetization because the game is likely to last minutes and then be out of your life forever. So it's okay for the player to accept that trade-off. But then if we are talking about the actual top most highest earning games in the whole universe, the answer is always segmentation. As Jana said earlier, there's no such thing as an average player. You always have to segment your players to understand why are they here and what is their preference. Because very concretely, if you have people who are high net worth and want to spend a lot of money, then you should make very expensive things available in the game for them, and they will like it. They will find that useful for themselves, but those same purchases will drive away or scare away people who do not have millions in their bank accounts, who might want to see something that's in the €5 range and might even want a different mechanism. So they might want to pay for a battle pass but will never buy a gem pack. So like there's a very big difference in what they're willing to buy and for what price. And specifically to the in-app advertising, then that's a thing where some people will never ever pay for your game, but they will gladly watch ads because that's their way of donating their time instead of money to still feel like they get some of the benefits that you get when you convert. So the best strategy there that I've heard of to date was from Netflix game studios here in Helsinki, where they made a specific form of rewarded video ads where the reward felt like it was very similar to you paying a couple of euros in the game. And people who saw those ads, who were in the target audience for them, they A/B tested this, their retention went up instead of staying the same or going down. So they felt that by seeing the ads, they somehow were more invested into the game when it's done right. So long answer, but coming down into being able to segment and think of your big audience as multiple different audiences and thinking about what to do for each one of them. This is hard, but got to start from somewhere.
Okay, and Yana, do you mind sharing your thoughts about these questions?
Yeah, sure. So again, agree with the Teemu, and probably I have 2 points to add that again come to my mind. First of all, take care of the quality of your ads that you show to your users, because nowadays we see a lot of over sexualized bad ads that put a risk on the user's engagement and the loyalty. So probably you could use again some partners or services such as App Harbor, so they actually control the bad ads. So again, you can use like the third party to actually control it. So I think it's super important for now because the bad experience, it's something that you won't change probably. So yeah, first of all, take care of the quality, of the high quality level of your ads. And probably the second point would be the brand integration to your gameplay. It's also the way to like increase revenues. We already see some examples like the Adidas billboard in FIFA games. So yeah, that's the idea that come to my mind, that the brand integration, it's like the partnership, it's also the way to increase the revenue and something to think about.
Okay, yeah. This has been, exactly answer the question from one of the audience, Elsa and Valentina. Do you mind sharing your ideas for this?
Yeah, so I will just maybe in some way continue the idea of Temu as well. Because the thing is that he mentioned rewards, rewarded video. We truly believe that rewards, and it's actually that we see from our experience, from our case studies, that we have multiple with hyper casual games and add-on based games, is that rewards on our side when we are rewarding players who are playing the game for a longer time, who are watching ads, and we are rewarding them for this time because time is precious that they're spending there. So we see the high engagement, the longer engagement with the game. So it's the problem of ad-on is that users are running away pretty quickly when they see too many ads. So we are giving them rewards for the time that they are staying, and they are engaging longer with the game. They are starting to be a loyal user. They are getting engaged with the game. So, it's like there is this kind of like churn when you're starting to play and after that you are running away. But the thing is that the rewards that help to overcome this churn and stay longer. And in that way, what the game publishers, they see that it's a possibility to show more ads, to get more revenue in this way. And I can only send you to some case studies that we did and have a look on them. Another thing that as well Teemu mentioned here is about the segmentation. For us, for example, what we are doing, we're looking at the users to who we present an ad. It's a very personalized, so we are looking at the app data usage, and we are pushing only games to them that they might be like that they are most likely to be interested in to spend time on it. But as well, our reward system is dynamic. So we are looking how the user is behaving, what's his behavior within the game to give rewards in order to fidelize, to improve the fidelization of him. And yeah, that's actually how we do that. We see great results, and that works really cool for the add-on games.
Okay, that's great. And actually, Pranab, there is a question from one of the audience named Ahmad. This is only for you and Valentina. He would like to know how can the India game developers compete with the larger studios in terms of optimizing revenue without sacrificing the game's identity.
Okay, great.
So
So, Valentina, you would want me to take this question first, or should I answer
Yeah,
your question
yeah.
on ad? Okay, I'll do both
You
of
can
them.
take the function quest.
I'll do this Ahmed's question first and then go back to the question on advertising because I had a
Okay.
point to make there. But going back to Ahmed's question, I think Ahmed, this is the best time for indie developers, right? And I'm guessing you're asking indie, not India. So indie get developers, and for India as well. I work on the India and South Asia market a lot more focusedly. Uh, but for this is the best time, and I think uh, you have all the tools available today to compete with the top studios in the world, which was not there when I started back 25 years back, even 15 years back. So the solutions that I spoke about, which are coming from the Exola ecosystem and the rest of the companies who are here, right, are all offering you and enabling you to go compete at the best level possible. I'll give you an example, right? So what are we doing through our solution? We are helping you go direct to consumer, sell your in-app purchases, direct games to your consumer at a much lesser cost, right? Like we charge 5% as against what store charges at around 30%. So what are we trying to give you is more power and empower you to save more money to be able to put back into your development. We have an Exola backend solution which is working, which offers everything end-to-end backend solution. Again, we offer much lower costs, barrier to entry, everything that is driven. And our brand philosophy is access to everyone, equal access to everyone. That's what our founder believes in and is wanting us to push on. So this is the best time for any indie to be in, right? Reach out to me, Ahmed, and I'll help you get through, and go direct to consumer. Going back to the original question on in-app advertising, I did have a point to make, Ealing, there. I think one more point and this is connected to what Valentina was talking about, and that's why I wanted to make the point that balancing ad frequency with user engagement is also crucial, right? From my perspective, I do have a background in advertising and ad tech. I'm a shareholder in an ad tech company. I think that's the most important thing is to maintain a positive user experience, right? And that's where the rewarded ads or reward-based ads that Valentina spoke about is extremely important for us as well. I think Exola's analytic-driven approach also focuses on helping developers to fine-tune the timing and the placement of the ads. And that's extremely important. It sounds like too much of detail, but that's the detail that you need to focus on, because that timing and what you are offering and at what time and how much, right, and what is the reward is everything that makes or breaks that in-app advertising model, right? Outside of segmentation that Teemu spoke about and everything else, right? Like that's important. But this is crucial because I've seen it happening time in and time again. So that's my perspective. Just wanted to thought I'll give my point of view also on the last question.
Okay. Thank you so much. For this kind of, fantastic points. And let's just come to the last question. Uh, you know that recently the Europe has officially announced the DMA, and we are seeing the big change in the app stores. And how do you think about the alternative app stores will affect the game revenue growth? And how does this fit with the latest trend in the mobile gaming? So Timo, would you like to share your thoughts for this question?
Sure, and I feel like going on an hour-long rant about this whole topic, but let me quantify this down to saying it's an exciting time, and forecasting the future is really hard. So we don't yet know how long it will take for the European Union to beat Apple with a stick to make them actually comply with the intent of the law. We haven't seen that yet. So we don't know if this will take multiple years to really open up in the way that DMA intends. Today, it's not happening. But if we believe for 2 seconds that it's going to happen, we will honestly have multiple competing app stores on an equal level. I'm really hopeful for that future because I think what it will make possible is that there will be more opportunities for user acquisition overall, for app discovery, let's call it that. Because today, discovery is the worst it's ever been in the history of games, because Apple and Google and so on limit it down to their own stores and their own preferred partners and their own sales channels, and it's a whole drama. So I'm really looking forward to a future where we can have more stores that cater to niche audiences, and within those stores and within those audiences we have more ways for games to be discovered, and by the end of it we will have a bigger gaming audience serving more different kind of genres of games to those audiences, and more gaming companies be able to find success within their own chosen game genre audience combination. So I'm really hoping that we will open up the industry, and I'm really just concerned about the time scales involved at this point. But it's exciting for sure, and I'm sure that the sort of more direct to consumer model that's been mentioned here it is absolutely in that palette as well. So it's exciting.
Okay. And Yana, your ideas for this?
Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. And just from my side, I could add that we receive a lot, like more and more requests from our clients to spy on alternative stores. So definitely we see the interest, like the App Gallery, Roo Store, even the mini apps on Telegram penetrate the market. So like we are super excited to see the next steps. And yeah, that's what I have to add just on our side, that what we see in our like daily routine, that we receive like more and more requests, and we see the interest in the alternative stores. So yeah.
Okay. And Valentina, how do you think, I mean, the DMA will affect the mobile gaming world as a whole?
Oh God, I've been waiting for this moment, from 2014, when the alternative stores will appear and will be less restrictions, because I've been working for the company, for the first app discovery company, when it was just banned by Apple in the US. And yeah, so I have a personal grudge there. But anyway, the thing is that it's a very big opportunity for the innovation. It's a very big opportunity for the companies to be doing something without being restricted by the monopoly of the app stores. And at the same time, obviously, I see that is a very good point, because we don't know how it's going to be. We just hope that it's going to bring something new, this news. But the thing is that it's as well about the competition, because the less competition right now in the alternative stores give companies to indie developers who has limited budget, or to the big companies to explore new user base. And for example, returning back to the question of Ahmed, it's as well an opportunity for the indie developers from India to be present in the alternative stores worldwide. Obviously, it brings a better margin. It's because 30%, that's a bit of robbing. And so we are hoping to that with this reduction and with the profitability, it will be a very good opportunity. Obviously, it comes with some cons, because you need to adapt so many things, starting from the technical aspect, your marketing strategy, your as well, it depends a lot of human resources, to be adapting your game for each individual store. But as well, it's a great opportunity. Let's see how it plays out. We are super excited about this and exploring this space as well with our apps.
Mm-hmm. And Pranab, how should the game developers get ready for those trends, and what kind of new opportunities might come up from those new rules, from your perspective?
I think, Ealing, from Exola's perspective, this is what we have been dreaming of. This is what we've been pushing. This is what our company's been pushing always, equal access, right? And so, like Europe, the EU Digital Marketing or Digital Markets Act, according to me or us, encourages basically alternative app stores and less resilience and less reliance on platform-specific storefronts, right? So, I think this presents significant development opportunities for developers across the world, indies to large, right? And according to me, alternative app stores like Aptoid and solutions like Exola's web shop basically allow today developers to retain a larger set of that revenue by circumventing that whole traditional app store fee model that they are forced into, or were used to be forced into. Furthermore, I also believe that alternative app stores and solutions, direct to consumer solutions like web store, web shop, Exola web shop, they offer more control over pricing and promotions. That's the most important part, right? Like that control is with the developer now, which can lead to basically higher LTV, which is lifetime value. Especially CEOs will understand the importance of that. So as this whole mobile ecosystem evolves, alternative ad platforms will become more integral in diversifying distribution channels and basically unlocking new revenue streams for developers. So I think this is a great move. Teemu did mention the fact that how much there is a resistance, huge amount of resistance from the stores, and obviously, when the throne falls, things happen. But I think things have started moving towards a direction which is looking more and more positive for the developers in the future.
Okay, thank you very much. For the great answers. And now let's just go to the Q&A section. I just got quite a lot of excellent questions from the audience, and I guess a lot of the questions has been answered already by our speakers. And there is one of the very interesting question from the audience is that if you could give one piece of advice to the developers struggling with monetization, what would it be? And regarding for that, Timo, do you mind to answer this question?
Sure. And I know we'll need to wrap up soon, so I'll keep it super brief. My one example, if you're struggling with monetization, is have a look at how you could improve your live operations. It will probably work no matter what your game's genre is. And to make that happen, please put in good analytics into your game so that you know if you're improving or not. So start from there.
Okay. Thank you so much. As we finish up today's section, I want to say a big thank you to all of our speakers for sharing their insights, and also a big thanks to everyone in the audience for your questions as well as your participation. I hope you find today's discussion useful and that it will give you some new ideas on how to improve the revenue in the mobile games. We look forward to seeing you at our future events. Thanks again and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.